The Hopi prophecy is based on an oral record that spans thousands of years. It speaks of cyclical cataclysms and says that one is coming in our near future, and that it will be the transition between the end of the fourth world and the beginning of the fifth. Several ancient texts have documented cyclical cataclysms. The Bible begins with the replenishing of the earth, which many biblical scholars interpret as a restoration after a previous destruction, and it ends with destruction. During the 16th century, Nostradamus wrote of the earth trembling so violently that great structures would be destroyed. Edgar Cayce, America's sleeping prophet, documented over 14,000 psychic readings that have been stunningly accurate. He had visions that simultaneous eruptions of Mount Pelée in Martinique and Mount Etna in Sicily would occur approximately 90 days before the West Coast is flooded. Gordon Michael Scallion was an electronics consultant with no background in mysticism when, in 1979, he suddenly lost his voice and began experiencing visions of future Earth changes. He published maps that show America's coastlines underwater, the country cut in half from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico, and Denver, Colorado as a future seaport. After years working as an electrical engineer for the U.S. aerospace industry, Aaron Abramson began focusing on psychic research. He predicted dramatic Earth changes and created a future map of the United States that showed the same coastal inundation. The alleged classified map of the U.S. Navy, which has been circulating for decades, shows U.S. coastal inundation patterns nearly identical to these visionary maps. Stan Deyo received a congressional appointment to the U.S. Air Force Academy at Colorado Springs. His advanced propulsion research took him to Australia in 1971 to work under the direction of America's Dr. Edward Teller and the Soviet Union's Dr. Andrei Sakharov. Stan Deyo had above top-secret security clearance and predicted that sunspot activity, tectonic upheaval, and volcanic activity would result in coastal inundation of the United States. One specific element of Deyo's predictions, a mega tsunami triggered by volcanic collapse in the Canary Islands, has been independently modeled and published by geologists at University College London. Deyo has spent years consulting with Hopi elders and found their prophecy to be consistent with his scientific research and developed maps that reflect what we have already discussed. FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program maps show the same results. All these maps show Denver, Colorado, which sits 5,280 feet above sea level and hundreds of miles from the nearest ocean coastline, among the most secure and stable positions in the continental United States. Perhaps this explains the mysteries of the Denver International Airport. At 35,000 acres, DIA's footprint is twice as large as the next largest U.S. airport. It was built 30 kilometers farther from the city than the airport it replaced and has fewer runways. DIA was $2 billion over budget. There are as many as 6 underground levels below the ground floor, and possibly more that are not publicly known. Construction workers handling different sections of the project reported complex underground tunnels and buried buildings. Construction companies were changed repeatedly throughout the build, and teams were fired once they completed their section, ensuring that no single group had a complete picture of the overall blueprint. The murals by Leo Tenguma, who confirmed he was given guidelines for the imagery, show a sequence of events: environmental destruction, burning cities, children dead and dying, and a new unified world emerging. The Masonic capstone reads, New World Airport Commission, an organization with no verifiable ongoing existence and no public record outside this stone and the airport's opening ceremonies. Perhaps it is merely coincidence, but an expected cataclysmic event like this would explain every bizarre action of the U.S. government for the past decade. Greg Reese reporting.